Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Monday to you. Taking a quick look here at Solana. Once more, seeing what's going on. We are seeing a bit more of a sell-off than expected, but we are still maintaining above the support at $58. So I don't think it's anything major to be concerned about yet. But once more, we do got to kind of look at all angles here. My guess is that liquidation levels might be slightly telling here, and there could be somewhat of a liquidation push to the downside. But if you are new to the channel, keep in mind, I love teaching people to trade. Hope you can learn something here today. Be sure to jump on over to our newest exchange here. They offer some phenomenal benefits there. No KYC, no VPN here with Bitunix. Thank you again so much for providing options to our US, Canadian, UK members who got hit pretty hard with some KYC requirements earlier in the year. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about liquidation levels here. And what I was talking about previously is that there are some levels both above and below us, right? We have this level here that wasn't truly hit at about 62.50, upwards of about 63.50. Okay, so there is a lot of liquidation there. So you got to keep in mind the price will gravitate towards that area based on the fact that there's a lot of juicy targets there. Okay, so again, whales love to hunt those liquidation levels, and that is something to be mindful of. You do also got to recognize there's a decent amount of liquidation at about $54/$52. Okay, I think it's less likely we're going to hit that level. We do have some support that we're running into right now at 58, and we also got a candle wick down to wipe out some of these liquidation levels. But there's not really a lot of meat left on the bone here for Solana to go much lower, in at least this much lower, right? It's because it would take a significant amount of pressure to go down to 54. So right now, with us being at the low 58 range, I don't see that being majorly concerning. It's natural for this correction to occur considering we hit a 9 on TD sequential here recently, okay? So even though I was hoping for the price to come up here and kind of bounce off this key level support, we never truly closed above, so that became invalidated. But the truth is here, we want to be able to kind of maintain this level. So we're gonna have to see how $58 treats us as a support. Touching on the daily, just to quickly note, a few key factors here. RSI is tapering off a little bit. That's actually perfect. We want that to happen. We are diverging on the MACD here, however, never a great sign. So just keep in mind with that divergence on the horizon, Solana could end up selling off a little bit more than we'd like. Now, again, this is a little premature because this hasn't fully diverged yet. And just because it diverges doesn't mean it's going to just drop super hard. Okay, you got to understand that. It's just kind of the mentality shift of how the coin is viewed based on the overall trend itself. I mean, why would it not discontinue this trend at one point or another? Keep in mind, speaking of trend lines too, we are still ascending positively on this short-term trend line and the long-term trend line. Okay, we're running concurrent with the 20-day SMA, so by no stretch are we bearish because we diverge on the MACD. Okay, just know that that's kind of a little bit of a forecasting tool there, letting you know that, hey, we could be on our way down here at this point. But once more, those are very, very common to get an MACD FU. That's what I refer to it as when the price just bounces right off of it and continues higher. But we do have a bearish engulfing candle here so far today, so we want a closure somewhere at the $59 or higher to prevent that from happening, because bearish engulfing candles notoriously control the market, and it basically just tells you that the bears are in control of that 24-hour period, much stronger than the prior 24 hours, and that the price could continue further in that direction. You see the reverse here happen. This is a bullish engulfing candle followed by a very strong green day after. Okay, so again, it doesn't always work out that way, but that's just something to be aware of. So 4-hour time frame, let's go ahead and see what's going on here. To note, we are under 50 on the RSI, not a fantastic place to be. Money flow index is still averaging itself out decently high though, so I do like that we have a decent amount of money flowing into the coin, or still enough. We have a MACD divergence on the 4-hour as well, which is definitely a bearish sign. Okay, so we combine all that together and we look at some of these areas on the chart, we can see we got a lower liquidity level again at $54 to $55. We've identified that on the larger timeframes for the back-end data there with liquidation. But we also got a significant amount of liquidation upwards of, once again, 62 to 64. So we're kind of right in the middle of that range, if you will. Okay, so we're at 58. We need to get to 62 to wipe those liquidity levels, but we got to get to 54 to wipe the lower ones. So we're exactly smack dab in the middle. So the truth is we got to give it this support level here to give it enough time to be able to hold. Okay, if we take a look at just say, you know, the picture here and essentially where we're at, what we're looking at is we're still establishing higher lows. However, we just established a lower high on the larger time frame, right? So as we start to kind of squeeze and compress, we're going to start seeing this type of pattern form, and oftentimes it'll break up or down as it squeezes into this little wedge. And now a lot of times if it derives from the bottom, then it'll continue upwards. This one kind of derived from the top, so there's potential for it to come down further. Okay. Again, it's kind of janky the way that it worked out with this massive upswing and then the downtrend. So truth is, this little pattern isn't 100% reliable, but it is still something to kind of be mindful of. Taking a look at the hourly, let's go ahead and just double check where we're at in the cloud. Confident we'll probably be underneath it. If I recall correctly, we were testing that previously. Let's go ahead and see where we're at. We are within the cloud, if you will, here. Now, granted, the price action is about $58 right now, $57.75, so this candlestick hasn't closed yet. So if we do close below that level for a few more candles, then there's a good chance we could still be on a bearish type of continuation of the downside. Okay, so I think it's probably best right now to assume that the price may pull back a little bit further before it recovers. But once more, we still have confirmation that we have actually shifted that momentum to the other side. We do have these other indicators letting us know that if you have a short open, you want to leave it open. And the same thing here with the lagging span, or the conversion line rather, being below the baseline. Those are bearish signs. But until you've truly closed below the cloud, you have no reason to consider that to be a bearish sign yet. Okay. So I think we got to give it time to kind of average itself out here, or potentially higher. If it does continue just to kind of stay here at 58, then I'm not going to be concerned. I think the likelihood of the price continuing higher is greater. But if the price action starts to average itself out, low 57s, that's a case in point where we might have to, face the music and essentially consider the price might continue lower. But generally speaking, I don't see anything extremely terrible here, but I can confirm that we have more bearish qualities right now than bullish. So if you do have a long open, you may want to consider trimming your position. We have a long open, honestly, and we got plenty of range of motion, and the way that the trade is structured, I'm not concerned with it. But when we take a look over here at our trading bots, we can see, well, we just took some profits from Matic and Avalanche, but we just, from yesterday, as a matter of fact, when we took some shorts, we hit a good 20% on our shorts from yesterday. Okay, so this is, again, our automated trading bot that I have built into my Premium Plus group. So again, congrats on that. But what I'm getting at is that our bots are picking up some short signals, and they haven't triggered any longs yet. So I think we got to go ahead and respect the fact that we could see the price pull back a little bit further before it recovers. Last thing but not least, Ichimoku Cloud. We already looked at that, but if we look at TD sequential, we came down to a 9 and bounced. Now we're back down to a 4. So we hypothetically have another 5 to 10 hours of continuation to the downside. So here's hoping that we can close at $58 here today or higher. I'll re-review this here later today to make sure we keep an eye on it, but at this point it's not looking fantastic. But you know how crypto goes. It'll shift that momentum instantly. And if we can see here, Bitcoin is maintaining itself, but it's selling off a little bit. So Solana is definitely pulling back now at this point. Just kind of a natural correction once you've been overextended for some time. Okay, I'm not super concerned with this, though. I don't think you should be either. It really just depends on the position size you have, though. I'm not concerned because we have a 5x leverage trade that opened in in the 59 range. We're not too bad off. But if you are the high leverage, high position size, I would be very, very careful doing that with Solana. Just some friendly advice. Thanks again so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Again, make sure you check on over to our Bitunix exchange, phenomenal exchange. You got some significant benefits there. In fact, we're going to have some trading competitions here soon based on volume. And then furthermore, too, also jump on over to our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord if you want to kind of jump on over to our community, get to know our traders better. Thanks again. Have a good one. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.